Welcome to Stormy Willow, where we explore the paranormal, celebrate the odd, and never trust the living. I'm your host, Adele, androgynous sleaze bucket.
And I'm your host, Sarah, Nervous Noodle.
Oh, okay. Both pretty accurate today.
I think so, definitely.
Well, here we
Oh,
are, tail end of February.
getting close to St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patty's. Be sure to wear your green or you get pinched.
Get pinched.
Pinched.
You
Do I even do that anymore?
I don't know.
I used to hate that. Getting pinched. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's so childish.
like an Indian sunburn. Remember those? Oh,
Oh, yeah. Like, don't go
yeah.
pinching people if they aren't
Kids,
wearing green. Just don't do
kids
that.
do that anymore.
Or is that like not a thing?
Yeah, that might be like a millennial thing that they were like, why would you do that to someone?
That's assault.
Yeah, I feel like the
Keep your
kids
hands to yourself.
today.
Yeah, they probably don't.
They're probably like, why would you just come up and attack me like that?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's probably
Yeah.
okay. Well, good. That's
Yeah.
that's a good little thing because
Yeah.
I always hated it.
Yeah. I don't think really people put their hands on you as much as we put our hands on each other a lot as kids, actually thinking about
Yeah,
it.
we were a bunch of little ruffians.
Yeah, it is true. Like when you think about that, you're like, man,
It's like these
tough.
kids play it in video games, but we played it out in real life.
We did.
We played
Pinching
war.
people for not wearing green, like dodgeball.
Yeah,
P was brutal then.
yeah. It was pretty crazy.
Intense. It was crazy times, but we survived.
We did. You know what
Made
else
it.
is crazy?
Oh, I'm ready.
Ooh, my booger news story. I think this might actually be kind of like a fear a lot of people have.
Oh no.
But
Okay.
yeah, so this comes from Oddity Central, and I'm just gonna read it from there. Doctors find five contact lenses lost behind woman's eyeball.
Okay, and my contacts are giving me a little grief today. Okay. All
All
right.
right, it's exactly what you think it is. Um, it's no twists and turns here, man. This lady just had five contact lenses stuck in her eyeball, but let's hear all about it. A team of Chinese plastic surgeons recently reported the bizarre case of a 33-year-old woman who had lost no less than five contacts behind her left eye. The patient, referred to only as Miss A, arrived at the plastic surgery hospital at the Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences in Beijing to have her hemifacial atrophy treated in order to improve her facial symmetry. Gee, I wonder why it was asymmetrical. The initial examination results showed that the left side of her face was atrophied and her left eyeball was slightly sunken. After
Oh.
after carefully examining the woman's face, the medical team decided to use autologous fat grafting to mitigate the effects of her condition. What they didn't count on was finding not one, but five different contact lenses while grafting fat into the empty space behind the left eyeball. She told doctors that she had lost several contact lenses in the past few months, but never imagined they were stuck in her eye.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently Miss A had been wearing contact lenses for several years, and the hemifacial atrophy created just enough space for them to disappear into behind her eye, essentially. The hemifacial atrophy is a condition in which the fatty tissue inside the eye atrophies and the eyeball shrinks. So when fat was injected behind her eye, it pushed out five
Oh, there are those
contacts.
contacts. There's that quarter.
She thought it had fallen out accidentally. So,
Oh yeah. I've had that too. Like I probably have some contacts in the back of my eye.
yeah, isn't that freaky though? That all the like how much could fit behind your eye with, and she
Uh,
would still not know if she hadn't gone in
yeah.
for this other thing.
Procedure. I bet that we all like if we are contact wearers. I've had some that have fallen out, and I swear I can't find them.
Yeah,
And and then like I'll end up finding them like crusted up on like the floor somewhere where it fell out. But I mean, I can see how you like, oh, it must have fallen out, and it's in the back of your
just
eye.
assumed it. was lost, but it's still in your head.
It's still in your head. It's fine. That might explain a lot with me.
Oh,
What's
well,
going on?
yeah. Well, I don't
It's
know
like,
what to tell you.
oh, it's like she just, but like, do you think, like, when you go to the eye doctor, I guess they, wouldn't they see that? Because I'm like, I know, like, I get like they do like this 3D kind of thing where it like looks at my eye, like my eye health, and you can see your eye. But I wonder if they make it now where you could actually see the back of the eye to see if there are like lost
Yeah,
contacts or something. I don't
I don't
know.
know. I mean, I just think that's
Ooh.
horrifying.
Yeah, I know someone that actually happened to you and had to have it removed.
Jeez, it
I
just
have to
stuff
wear glasses now, so
like
that did it to
ears,
them.
ears, eyes, and nose. I'm always super kind of, I mean, not super, but I would say in the back of my mind, I am always curious. Like, I wonder if there's something stuck that I have no idea is there. Like something that just gets
Probably.
like way up your sinus or way into your ear. Like, who knows?
Who knows?
And what
Well,
they're saying that like humans have people today have like what like a plastic spoon's worth of plastic in our bodies now, like just
probably
because of
more.
plastic.
Yeah. It's like if you start thinking about that too much, it'll make you go bananas.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. So why not throw contacts in there?
Why not? Why not throw in some contacts? It's fine.
Mm.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
at least it was contacts and not like cockroaches living
Yeah, I mean,
behind your
it
eyeball.
honestly could have been worse.
It could at least they but
It could have
kind
been
of
worse.
belonged there to a certain extent.
Yeah, they
So
do belong in the eye, just not maybe. I don't know. Like maybe they're just like I wonder if they like do they dissolve over time? I just don't
mm,
know.
I
Like when
don't
they found
know.
them, were they still like intact or were they? I don't know. Eyeballs kind of gross me out
Or
a little
wouldn't that
bit.
be cool to like go in because you're like, oh no, I'm losing my vision,
And
and then
then you just
oh,
find out it's all these
get
contacts
these
and you're fine.
contacts, and then you're fine. That would be like such a relief.
It was like, oh, thank God.
So I don't know, pretty weird, but yeah, probably if you do sleep with your contacts, maybe just keep that in mind.
Yeah, don't sleep in your contacts. You're not supposed to do that unless you have the special kind that you
Yeah.
can. I used to do that all the time when I was a youngster.
Well,
Not now.
let's hope they all came out.
Just hope they all came out.
All right. Well, shall we take a look at the astro forecast for this
Yeah,
week?
let's do it.
All right. This comes at you from astrologia.com.
Cool. Okay.
And this is your weekly forecast for February 24th through March 2nd. And this week is a slow burn.
Okay.
So
All right.
let's start with Monday. All right, so
Okay.
Monday, February 24th, smooth skies for now.
Okay.
Forecast all planets are direct, meaning there's actual momentum. Shockingly, things might go as planned, but by evening, the balsamic moon, is that really what it's called? The balsamic moon
Balsamic
phase?
moon. What's that?
Sounds
It's like
delicious.
vinaigrette, some mozzarella. Oh, yum.
Yeah, okay. The
Okay.
balsamic moon phase kicks in, nudging you to tie up loose ends before the next lunar cycle. So don't start new things. This is the time to wrap it up, not begin.
Okay. Good to know.
Um,
Don't start something new on Monday.
yeah, just tie things up, finish it. So that's not so bad. And then we get into Tuesday, February 25th. Serious talks, serious thoughts. So Mercury and Saturn link up in Pisces, making it a day for structured thinking. If you've been procrastinating on major decisions, now's the time to get real. Conversations may feel heavy, but they're necessary. Make long term plans, the kind you won't abandon next week. And be clear and direct. So that
Okay.
doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, that sounds productive.
We'll see when the burn starts to come in.
Yeah. Just the burn, huh? Oh no.
Wednesday, February 26th, focus mode activated. So Mercury Saturn energy lingers, meaning it's a great time for organizing your life, at least on paper.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a start.
yeah, productivity guilt is a real, sorry, productivity guilt is real today. Don't beat yourself up if you don't check every box. Prioritize what actually matters and get
Okay.
tasks done before the cosmic fog rolls in.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So the first part of the week so far, we're okay.
yeah, just it sounds like kind of do your best, forget the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, February 27th, this is a new moon and new mystical mess. So here we go.
New moon, new mess.
New moon, new doom. The new moon in Pisces drops at 4:45 p.m. Pacific, drenched in intuition and emotional depth. Neptune's influence makes this an ultra-charged time for setting creative and spiritual lineations. Or sorry, why did I say that? Intentions.
Lineations.
I was like, what does that even mean?
I don't know. It
I
sounded
swear
really
it said that.
important.
I was
I was
like,
like, Adele, your astrology terminology is on point, girlfriend.
anyway, spiritual intentions.
Who are you channeling?
I don't know who this is. But also for delusion, if you're not careful. Manifest wisely, fantasy and reality are blurry. So set intentions related to creativity, healing, and spirituality, and trust your gut. All right, then Friday, February 28th, vibes over logic. So it might be fun, but messy is what I'm picking up from that. The Pisces moon is in full force, boosting imagination and intuition from 3:33 p.m. to a little past midnight Pacific. An opportunity period opens the door for creative and spiritual breakthroughs. Daydreaming may lead to lost hours, but it's a good time to meditate, paint, or write. Just do something kind of deep.
Yeah.
And just let it flow.
I love it.
And then Saturday, March 1st, getting in closer to St.
Yeah.
Pat's,
Oh, yeah.
getting closer to springtime.
Oh, yes.
Venus hits reverse.
Oh,
So
shit.
I
Here
think
goes
this
the
is where
burn.
things go a little bit messy.
At least our work week's not horrible.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I
And
can deal with
anything
badness on
on
the
a weekend
weekend.
is okay.
Like,
Yeah,
it's all right.
so
I'll just go back to bed.
right, just sleep through it. So
Sorry.
Venus stations retrograde in Aries, kicking off a 6-week period of major reevaluation in love, money, and self-worth.
Ew. Ooh and ew.
If you're considering a big relationship move, a financial investment, or a new look, pause. Okay?
Should I have a hair appointment?
Not that, well, don't change your hairstyle drastically, I
Yeah,
guess.
no.
Not the time for impulsive bangs. It literally says that. Or expensive purchases. Yes. Okay, so don't go in there asking for bangs.
Okay, no bangs. Just a trim.
Yeah, just a trim. And reflect on what and who truly matters and expect the past to come knocking. So, great. But yeah, so for the next 6 weeks, following March, play it cool. Don't try anything drastically different.
I can't be cool for 6 weeks. I
No
can't be
new
cool for
hairdos
6
or
weeks.
anything. We'll just take a vacation or something.
For 6 weeks. It's like I'm gonna need to take the whole month of March.
I
Go
need
to
a
Ireland.
sabbatical.
I'm going to Ireland for a while. For the whole
There you
month of
go.
March.
Going on a vision quest.
I'm going on a
Oh.
vision quest.
All right, and then Sunday, March 2nd, dreams versus reality. Mercury conjuncts Neptune and Pisces, making thoughts extra dreamy, but not exactly logical. Meanwhile, the Sun squares Jupiter, tempting overconfidence and excess. Grand ideas may not hold up in the daylight. Let creativity flow, but don't make major commitments. So, I get that. Just
Yeah.
play, have fun, don't get too serious. Because remember, you're not even supposed to be making major changes right now, anyway.
Just I feel like you're supposed to just be going with the flow. Just
Yeah.
get steady.
So, just to sum that all up into a weekly survival guide, early week, wrap things up and make solid plans. Midweek, new moon magic, set intentions but stay grounded. And then the weekend, you have Venus retrograde plus the Neptune fog, equals romantic and financial confusion. So proceed with caution. So really not the worst. It really isn't.
Yeah, it's not bad.
We've been through so much worse than that.
Like when
We
you
can,
said slow burn, I was like, are you kidding
yeah,
me? This
this
is
is
great.
nothing. This is
This
like a
is
suntan.
fantastic. Like this sounds like a great week ahead, guys.
I
And I'm
think
really
we're good. I
pumped.
think we're good, Brood. But that
I
takes
am
it back
very
to
excited.
you.
Well, it takes it back to me. And if you will remember back last week, I got a mystery, which I feel like we haven't done a mystery in a really long time. So I was like, what on earth can I cover here? And so I was, kind of going down the rabbit hole. And so today's story, I have never heard of this, Adele. So I'm really excited to see if you or the listeners have ever heard of this as well. But today's mystery is the Green Children of Woolpit. You heard of
Yeah, I used to play with them. No,
them? Like you remember the
you
Woolpit game.
remember them?
You know the Woolpits. Come on, girl.
No, I haven't.
Now,
I've never heard of them.
I had never heard of them either. So I'm like, this will be a fun one. So this is very like medieval X-Files or possibly just bad parenting. I'll
Hmm.
tell you the story and you can be the judge at the end. All right, so let me get my screen situated here. But oh my God, guys, this is a doozy. So let's just kind of set the scene first, all right? So we're in 12th century England, all right? So we're in the reign of King Stephen, who's actually spelled like my Stephen.
This is Stefan.
Stefan.
Oh.
Or it could possibly be King Henry II, depending on like which timeline you believe. So anyway, it's basically the 12th century, long, long time ago. And so Woolpit is a very, very little village that is literally known for wolf pits, like literally making pits to trap wolves. So that's where they got their name.
Okay. Oh, that sounds like bad karma.
So yeah, so this is basically like medieval booby traps for wolves. Because
Oh,
wolves would come in, kill their livestock. We're
I get
talking
it.
and we're talking medieval times. So,
I get it.
we're
It's
not
survival.
really, yeah, it's survival. So basically, we're living in a time where there's no Wi-Fi, no vaccines, and if your neighbor sneezes, then you're probably going to be dead in a few weeks. It's just, very rough times. So,
2020.
well, it's basically like 2020.
Yeah.
So now enter the green kids, okay? So one day, the villagers of Woolpit find these two children, a boy and a girl, and they're standing near a wolf pit in Wolf Pit. And
Okay.
okay, so these kids are green, and I mean, I'm not talking like a hue of green, like they are like Shrek colored green, according to legend.
Were they
Um,
ogres?
they might be, that could be a theory. And so these kids are like, I mean, we're talking like Wizard of Oz, Wicked Witch of the West, like green. They're speaking a language that nobody understands but the two of them, and they're wearing really strange clothes that, like, people are like, we don't even recognize this material. We don't know what's going on. So, obviously they can't go to Google, find out what's happening, and so these villagers are just confused as hell because they're like, what the hell like has happened? And so what they do is they actually take the villagers just panic, and then they take them to the nearest rich guy because that's just what you do then. So
You just
they they
okay.
go to Sir Richard, who is a local lord, and he's like, "Okay, I'll take him in," I guess. And so, the first thing he does is try to feed these kids, but they refuse to eat any food. Like they will not eat anything that he tries to give them, and so, they eventually start they found like beans that are like straight from the stalk, and so they start eating those. And that's the only thing they'll eat are like things from a stalk. They won't eat like a potato or anything else.
That's they're
And
like
so
plant people.
they're plant people. And so it's like, okay.
It's
And
chlorophyll. That's
so
why they're green.
it's chlorophyll. That is a theory. And so they eventually do start eating regular food, but at that time, like they just wouldn't eat anything. So basically, this is so sad. So they eventually start eating regular food. They teach them English, And the boy actually passes away, and the girl continues to, you know, flourish and do well. And so, after some years, the girl finally spills the beans, no pun intended, about where they came from. Now, some accounts say she never says, but this one account says she finally says that they were from a place called St. Martin's Island, which is a place of just perpetual night. So there's never no sun, no nothing. And she said everyone there was green like them because they never got sunlight. And they were also, so she and her brother were apparently following a mysterious light when they got lost and ended up in Woolpit, is what she said. So, yeah, very strange. I don't know.
I think they're just Cabbage Patch Kids.
They're just they are the original Cabbage Patch Kids. And so, as I mentioned, the boy didn't make it because obviously, you know, medieval healthcare was just thoughts and prayers, kind of like our healthcare is gonna end up being. So, you know, so let's deep dive into some fun theories here because that's the story. Very simple story. Okay. Theory number one, aliens, which is the most popular theory. So this is the reason they're saying they're aliens. Obviously, they're green.
Okay.
Speaking a weird language. So they're like, oh, not from Earth. And then they say the whole St. Martin's Land story, permanent twilight thing, they're like, oh no, it was another planet or a dimension. They're thinking it wasn't an actual like place here on Earth. Other alleged medieval alien encounters because there were more.
Sorry, but why would it be called something in English? Like, why would it, like, you know what I mean?
Maybe she meant to say Saint Martians.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. She's like, I didn't say Martin. I said Saint Martians Islands in another galaxy.
Because we have saints there too.
There were saints there too.
Okay.
Now, apparently, there have been some documentation, or just maybe, I guess I should say fun banter, not really documentation, of aliens visiting Earth in the 1100s. So, who knows? I mean, maybe they saw knights jousting and medieval torture, and they're like, we're going to peace out for a little while and come back later. I don't know. But, and maybe they just, you know, these kids missed the ship back to St. Martians. So that's
the spaceship, that is.
The spaceship, that is. Okay.
Not like the sea ship.
It could be St. Martin's out in the sea, but maybe underneath St. Martians.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe they're from Atlantis.
They could be. It's a good theory. All right. Theory number 2. Underground people.
Okay.
So very hollow earth vibes, right? So some people believe the kids came from a hidden underground civilization, which we've talked about here on this podcast a few times. So they're like, all right, so here are the facts. No sun because you're under the earth. So that would make you, you know, not get that exposed to ever having sunlight, being green.
I mean, also only eating the plant stalks, maybe you're vitamin deficient.
Exactly, yes. And they said, what if the mysterious light that the kids say that they followed was like an entrance to a cave?
Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, and so they're like, so the whole hollow earth theories and myths, like, you know, like we've talked about hidden societies living below us, they feel like that kind of checks out. Like they could have, and especially like if in Woolpit they're making wolf pits, they could have dug.
They might be living in a cave system.
That kind of checks out.
Like, exactly. They could totally be a cave system around there.
Times.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes. Especially during that time. Oh my God. Yes. So I feel like that's a pretty solid one. Theory number 3. Could they be fairy changelings? Maybe. I don't know, but here's the evidence. Medieval folklore, fairies were not cute. Okay? They were weird. They were
were these kids not cute?
I guess not. I think that they would be cute,
That's
but they
mean. So
could
they're saying
sometimes
these kids
be.
were little butterfaces, little green butterface
They're like
ogres.
these kids were. They were. Yeah, they're little ogres.
Oh, so just because they're ugly,
I was like, did you not learn anything from Shrek, people?
wow,
So mean.
they have to be evil
But so they're
too.
saying, that we have to remember that, fairies were not these cute little winged creatures. Like they were tricksters, and sometimes they look terrifying.
They're little
And
goblins.
little goblins. And so some people thought these kids were changelings, fairy children left in exchange for human babies.
Don't you think the whole changeling kind of I know I'm veering off topic, is just people who had affairs?
Yes. No, Adele, I don't. I think it's when you literally bring
A
your
fairy
two
child.
green kids, put them on the porch in exchange for two other children. That's
You're
what
like,
that is.
you make a deal with Rumpelstiltskin.
You make a deal with Rumpelstiltskin. It's fine.
Okay,
But
that's the one. That's the
that's the one. But then they're like, well, what about this weird language? And they're like, classic fairy traits. I mean, all the fairy traits, classic changeling behavior.
This
They
sounds
don't
like an It's Always Sunny kind of theory.
play.
Play. Oh, I needs to be.
This needs to be a day man. The bean connection, they're like,
Jack and
beans were considered magical or taboo in a lot of folklores. So they're like, they just weren't picky eaters. It's like a Jack and the Beanstalk situation. So yeah, that's that theory. If you
Okay.
want to go with it. And then our last theory, um, malnourished orphans. Boo.
Probably that one.
So some
Never
historians
learned how to
say,
speak properly, and they had like their own little like sibling language.
yeah. So historians say, I'm sorry, these kids were probably starving refugees. The green skin was probably chlorosis because they were malnourished, and they said their weird language was probably just something that they probably never learned proper how to speak, and so it was just like a little made up language between the two of them.
Hmm.
And they're like St. Martin's Island could have actually been a settlement where the kids just kind of lived and then,
Yeah, I just kind
they
of
were kind of
drifted.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, but then they're like, but how did they appear in the middle of a wolf pit? I mean, they could have been hiding in the wolf pit, or
Well,
you know what I mean, trying to
I
get
think the
food,
cave.
hiding.
Yeah, I think the cave thing and this one could be both true simultaneously.
For
Like maybe they're
sure.
living in the caves and also malnourished.
Yes. But I don't know. I think the fairy one's pretty fun too.
But it's clearly that they're fairies, they're
It's
changelings,
obviously that
obviously.
they're fairies, Adele. I mean, they need you to get with it. Like,
Like I don't
that's
even know why this is a mystery.
yeah, I mean, obviously, all right, this is typical fairy behavior.
Yeah.
um, but I like your idea about the Cabbage Patch Kids. And then, like, they sprung this entire idea of baby dolls.
Yeah,
I'm
look
not
at how they these were their first child actors who were like exploited. They made like Jack and the Beanstalk about them and then Cabbage Patch Kids, and these kids only got like sprouts to eat.
while what is it, St. Richard's like profited on these kids,
Yeah, Saint
pretending to
Dick
be
over
their like
there.
yeah, for sure. All right, so let's talk about some odd connections in the paranormal. Just because why not? Like let's throw it out there.
I mean, they are changelings,
So
though.
they are changelings after all. So there have been some similar cases of mystery children. Other historical cases of weird kids appearing out of nowhere happened once in Casper. How that's called the Casper Hauser case in 1828, where another boy who spoke unknown language and also had an odd origin story kind of just appeared out of nowhere. Um, and so the paranormal explanation is, could this be glitches in reality, time slips, or parallel dimensions? I think it just might be that you had a lot of homeless, hungry children out there. So you probably did have more cases like this.
And with like me as an American over here, it just seems like there were so many conquests and things were constantly acquired and renamed. Maybe where they lived
Right.
was St. Martin, and now then it wasn't.
It wasn't anymore.
And then everybody's like, "Where the
Exactly.
fuck are you talking about?" But it was just it used to be called St. Martin.
Or like that's how their people refer to it or something, you know? That's all they
Yeah,
need to
or like
say.
who knows? But I
Exactly.
think they are definitely changelings from Earth.
Well, there have been also modern cases of green people. There's the Green Man of Pennsylvania, who's an urban legend
Oh, that's
about.
the deadbeat dad of theirs, huh?
So this is an urban legend about a guy who had a greenish hue due to an accident, but they tried to like say that he was, you know, alien or whatever. But then there's a whole creepy lost in time experiences. So some people basically say, you know how people like disappear and reappear all together with like no memory of where they've been. They're like, maybe it's that. I really think it's a very boring case. I don't think it,
Yeah.
I don't think it's really that. But I would love to know, what do you think, guys? Like, do you guys think that it was aliens, underground dwellers, fairy kids, or just maybe confused medieval orphans? Either way, the two green children showed if they showed up at my doorstep speaking in tongues, I'd assume I was being pranked by the government. I'm kidding.
I wouldn't even answer the door.
I wouldn't even answer the
I'd
door.
call 911.
I don't know. I would probably let them in. But the moral of the story, if you ever see a mysterious light in the woods, maybe don't follow it, or at least bring a snack, because raw beans, well, that just doesn't sound great.
Share my beans. I love beans.
But I would love to know what you guys think about it. I mean, I think that they're lost orphans and just kind of found their way into Woolpit.
They're malnourished little urchins.
That's what I think. But I did want to say thank you to my sources just really quick. So thank you to The Green Children of Woolpit by Paul Harris, The Medieval Children by John Clark, The Green Children of Woolpit UFOs or Folklore from Darren Nash, and A Passport to Magnolia, and Jeremy Hill exploring fairy traditions, and of course BBC and British Folklore Archives. So thank you for the information. But I had never heard of this case. Um, but it's
Yeah,
a fun one. But I do
it's an
think it's not
interesting
really,
one.
I mean, I definitely don't think it is anything like real exciting. I think it's really probably a sad story.
Probably.
And I hate that the little boy died, but it seems like the little girl ends up like getting married to like somebody that's like, you know, high ranking kind of person and having a good life. So I mean, at least she
So someone out there
someone
related to the Green Lady,
someone
the
out
Green
there is
Child.
related to her, which that would be so, oh, that would be so, could you imagine like trying to like trace your ancestry and you're like,
And it's like
what?
reptilian.
Cabbage Patch. I was really obsessed with Cabbage Patch Kids, and now I know why.
I did that 23 and me, and I'm half Cabbage Patch and half reptilian.
I don't know about that 23andMe, guys. Maybe stay away from that.
You might find some stuff you don't want to know.
I haven't done that for that reason, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect to be related to a green person. I'm like,
Ooh, I'm
whoa,
special.
wow, I do love to eat greens.
And I know that I'm prone to an iron deficiency now. So thank you, 23 and me.
This podcast is sponsored by 23andMe. Use code Stormy Willow to get an extra 10% on your next purchase. Just kidding. I mean, you could try it.
Give it a go. Let us know if it works.
Go, let us know.
Or let us know a real pill,
Somebody's
though.
like, I
Maybe we'll
got
just
this
share it
promo
here.
code. I got this promo code from Stormy Willow about the green people, and they're like, what?
What? Yeah, they said say code green.
It said
I don't
code
know.
green. I don't Cabbage Patch 2025.
Something about the underground. I don't know.
Oh, but yeah, I just thought that was just kind of a fun one. I've never heard of. I was coming across a lot of really murdery ones. I'm like, I don't
Oh
want to do
yeah,
murder. Like, it's too heavy right now. So I'm like, let's go with the green people.
yeah. Green people are light.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah,
We're
there it is.
vegetarians and just it makes sense.
It just made sense.
Yeah. Well, on that fun note, should we see what the heck we're covering next time?
I think we should.
We're gonna find out what each of us are covering because there's only 2 topics left. So obviously you
Oh,
get the
that's
other.
right. That is very true.
All right. Well, I'm sharing my wheel.
All
You
right.
ready to spin it?
Let's spin it.
All right, here we go. Which will it be? Which will it be?
Oh.
All right. I get presenter's choice and you get a cryptid.
That's awesome. The presenter's choice is hard.
I think I have some ideas though.
So I'm really glad that you do.
So
On that
then,
note, I probably need to go get these contacts out of my eye
yeah,
after that story.
make sure you find both of them. Like
Yeah.
3? Why did 3 of them?
Seconds. Well, I have one for my third eye too, you see.
Oh, there you go. Opening that
Oh,
third eye.
opening that third eye.
I guess
All
mine
right.
does probably have an astigmatism.
Yeah, I mean, mine obviously
My
has a
third
hard
eye
time.
needs glasses. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Oh gosh. Well, as we say here on our podcast, stay safe out there, friends,
Stay curious.
and never trust the living,
Living.
even if they're green.
If it
They
has a
got
pulse,
a
it's
pulse.
evil.
Yep. So true. All right, guys, have a great week.
Later, taters.